see. If you're tuning in, please tell me who. Hey, Guitaro, how you doing, my friend? Guitaro, I'm sorry I haven't been able to do the things you asked me to do yet. It's been a whirlwind the last several days, and I wanted to have some dedicated time to really focus on what you've been asking. Hold on one second. We're just spreading the stream around. How are you, Mr. Guitaro? Are you having a good day? Ayana is on. Andrea is on. What's going down, my friends? Boy, we had an embarrassing moment on the show today. Guitaro, I could not figure out I hadn't played this land in your land in a long time. And for whatever reason, my brain was all kind of tripped up, and it felt like a year, but it took me a good minute, maybe two, to find the key to sing it. So that was a bit embarrassing, but we got through it. These things happen. That, I suppose, is life. Ayana, thank you, and Andrea, thank you for joining as you guys tend to do. It was really cool of you. And yeah, I'm just spreading this out to one more spot. Who's there? Where are you? My thing is not working here. There we go. That's better. That's better. Let's see. Well, today's topic was folk music. And I had a few reasons to do it. You just got your green screen. Oh, that's very cool. By the way, folks, if you want to see a top-notch artist and entertainer, I highly recommend you check out my friend Guitaro 5000. He is a legend. I've had the pleasure of playing with him several times. He's not only a good guy, he's also a great artist, and I just respect the heck out of him. He's really, really good. Okay, this thing is not working, so I'm just going to sit down. You're at the Taj Mahal tonight. Oh, that's really cool. That's very exciting. I've never been to the Taj Mahal, not in real life, and certainly not on the green screen. All right, this thing isn't working, so I'm just gonna go on and wait. What the heck? One last try here. Facebook, let's try that. My computer is misbehaving, but that's okay. All right, let's get on with the show. So, hello, welcome to the show. 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 All right, so first things first. Oh my goodness, my camera is too low, or it's too high. So let me fix that. This is always more difficult when I have to do these on days without Freddie. I miss my Freddie. So that's the first. I spilled my coffee. There we go. What's new? How you doing? Today we did a folk music lesson. I wanted to feature 3 songs. I ended up featuring 4 because one of our regulars from Indiana she mentioned Bob Dylan. But to talk about the songs that we did first a song called Shady Grove, and then we did Woody Guthrie, This Land Is Your Land, followed by Bob Dylan, the first song I ever learned how to play and sing, which I don't even know what it's about. I thought about it. I've been playing the song, I think, nearly 20 years. I still don't know what the song is about, but that's Bob Dylan for you. And finally, Simon and Garfunkel. I had 2 goals today for today's show. One of the things is that the thing that's interesting about folk music is that it's inherently approachable. at least in my opinion, it's inherently approachable. There's not a lot of folk music that I know that is super duper technically complicated, that's being played with great virtuosity. You can certainly put folk music through that lens and put it through the blender and have a master play it and make it that. But I just, folk music in and of itself, I don't think that's what it's about. So that's one thing I like about it. I feel like it's approachable, not just for the listener, but for an artist. If you're a person and you want to write songs, then when we think about folk music, from one sense, a lot of it is rooted in, to what a country's experience is. There's folk music from every country in the world. And I would say This Land Is Your Land is a very great example of that. That is very much touching on the American experience and what that means, what that's supposed to be, what the country is supposed to be about from Woody Guthrie's perspective. Then Shady Grove, which is a much older song that I first heard from an American named Doc Watson, it's about love, right? And I think I have the feeling that Bob Dylan's song, You Ain't Going Nowhere, is also about love. I'm not sure though. The lyrics are so weird. I kind of also think that Bob Dylan just wanted to make a weird song. Could be. It's Bob. You never know. So the fact that folk music is approachable in that sense is, I think, great for kids to sort of have that aha, because music is empowering, especially for children. This is a group of people who do not have a lot of say in what they do, where they go, when they go there, what they wear, what they eat. They don't have a lot of control. And I'd really like, in all cases, not just for kids, but for adults as well, to sort of demystify music. Not all songwriters are these wizards that are tinkering away and making these songs. It's just not true. It's not the case. The other reason why I wanted to do this lesson today was there have been a lot of events recently in America that have been pretty horrible, and it makes me really sad, and I feel powerless in the grand scheme of things to change it. I really do. I look at the world. The primary lens through which I look at the world is as a father. That's it. Like, as a father, as someone who's part of a family, and I look at what recently happened to George Floyd on Monday, and I think it's very important. At least, the power I think that I have, or the skill that I think that I have, is music. Music is a relatable thing. Art is a relatable thing. People don't fight at the dinner table, and if they do, it's usually not a nice person, right? Art and music are things that bring people together, and I think that folk music, particularly the song "This Land Is Your Land," is something that was on my mind thinking about all that. So, with the show, we generally have the goal. We generally have the goal to, demystify music, present certain things that might be complicated. Singing in harmonies is a complicated thing, but we like to break things down step by step. So a lot of times, Freddie and I, we will talk about techniques. We'll talk about a little bit of theory in an approachable manner. And today, I really felt like, this is the thing to talk about. On a show like this, I have to approach it in an age appropriate way. I'm not going to, or I don't know how, at least, to talk about something like George, what happened to George Floyd in this context. And I don't know if I should exactly. So it brings me back to my responsibility as a human, as a father, as an American, if you will, whatever you want, who is putting things out there in the world, and choosing what is put out there and how. And I just think that if at a young age, from a young age, we teach values of inclusion and empathy and the simple, understanding that there's a lot of things that bind us together, right? And that differences between cultures and people don't make us bad. I think those are my front lines in all of this as a father and as an artist. That at least those are the front lines that I think that I can have the most impact. My family and the choices I make and the things that I choose to put out in the world. And to a degree, I guess we do that with every lesson with the things we choose, but that's what I wanted to do today. So, these are just some of the things that are on my mind. A lot of thought goes into each lesson that we do, be it about making an instrument, or, if we feature a song from Ghana, or another country, we're very careful to try to deliver it with as much authenticity and respect and context as possible. I see a lot of, there's an expression called faking the funk, and that's not something that we want to do, because kids know immediately. Like if you ever want to test in your life whether something is good or bad, if you put it to kids, like up to like the 8, like my daughter's 7, I feel like she's still at the age where she's not going to just be polite. You will know based on her reaction whether she likes something or not. Kids are a great marker for that. So, this is that's our sort of end game. One of the things that's always troubled me as a dad, and Freddie and I have talked about this before, is like, I think kids' music is generally terrible, right? Like the way I see music being taught, the way, not just music, other things, but the way I see a lot of adults communicate to children, the way I see, in particular, music, dancing, these things, it's just, they're taught down to, and the expectations are so much lower, and it's almost as if they're not, I don't feel like the kids are respected in many senses. They're people too, they're tiny people, but they're people. They're smart. My 3-year-old, he listens to. We have an old iPad that's full of stuff that my wife and I used to have on our bar playlist when we used to bartend, and do all that stuff, and just whatever. Do you remember CDs? I mean, I don't know if anyone's on here is old enough to remember having cassettes and CDs that you would walk around with. Like you'd walk around with a big old book of CDs, and that's how you would choose your music. And the iPod came out, so you could put everything on it, which is amazing. I still think it's amazing. And my son listens to a lot of different stuff, like that we don't push it on him. Like, he's just going through the iPod. AC/DC's popping up, Bob Dylan's popping up, Ani DeFranco's popping up, Bob Marley is popping up. Like, my kids love Bob, and I don't mean like Bob Marley legend. I mean the old Bob. I mean like the ska rock steady Bob. They're my daughter's singing along to it, and they've got taste. And Ayana, you say you agree. What do you agree that children are taught down to? Is that the point you're agreeing on? Because here we go. Some children's music is good for gross fine motor skills, but as a teacher, I really don't like listening to children's music. Boom. Yeah, it sucks. like it, the dick-a-doo-dick-a-doo-ka-doo, the prickly pear, blah. Like, I mean, dang, you got your classics, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. It's great. Those songs like that, of course, can facilitate understanding of melody and harmony if you do it the right way. But but I feel like a lot of it is just garbage that people use to make a buck off of parents, or they package it as some amazing product, learning tool that they can sell with a stamp on it to educational systems or schools. Ayana, you would be able to speak on that more than I do. I'm sure you've got salespeople coming up in your grill all the time with whatever the next greatest learning method is, and I'm sure some of them are very valid. Okay, but I am not a teacher who is learning music to teach kids. I'm a musician who's trying to teach music to kids. And I think there's a difference in that. Not to say that teachers are not capable, because Ayana, I know you are very, very thoughtful about how you use music, the way you present it, and what you use it for. We talked about this last week, and I was just so impressed with the background of what you did with the music that you use. But I just see a lot of teachers who know how to teach, right? They're taught how to teach, but they might not have the depth of understanding of a particular subject or how to deploy certain aspects of a subject. And I think that's a nuance. I think that's an important nuance. If you've ever watched early Sesame Street, right? Even current Sesame Street, like I'm not super up to date on Sesame Street, but one of my favorite, if you are one of the 5 people watching this right now, or you happen to watch this in the future when I'm not live, I encourage you to go to YouTube and type in Stevie Wonder Sesame Street. Okay? This, I don't know what, Stevie is a young man here. This is not 2000s or 1990s Stevie. This is young prime time Stevie Wonder. And he is ripping it. It was a raging set. It is a set that I talk often about time travel tickets, right? Like what concerts, what shows would you see if you had a time traveling ticket? I cannot tell you what I would give to be on the set of Sesame Street with Big Bird and Oscar the Grouch and these other kids who were up there raging to Stevie Wonder and his band, right? Let's see here. What's Ayana saying? Thank you. Children need to be exposed to different types of sounds and music. 100%, Ayana. 100%. Because the thing is that when, Ayana, you like Dave Brubeck, right? And you tuned in on the day we did the unsquare dance, and you were also the inspiration for us to do, oh my God, I can't even remember the name of the tune, but the 5-4 song. Sorry, my brain is discombobulated today. But when you were listening to music, when you were listening to stuff that isn't what I would just call sugar music, right? Like just the stuff that's at the right BPM and gets you bopping, your brain is actually working. You don't know that your brain's working, but it's working. It is processing all of this stuff. And again, Stevie Wonder's a great example. There's so many layers of what's happening on Superstition with what he's playing on, I don't know what the particular instrument is. It's got that organ feel to it. The drums are nuts. The bass line, that's a wild song. Okay. Take 5. Thank you, Ayana. Take 5. God, you listen to something like Take 5 though, interesting things are happening inside your brain. Like you're bopping your head to that song as though it's a 4/4, but it's not a 4/4 tune. And that's a cool thing. My first memory, one of my first memories as a child is Funkadelic Maggot Brain. That's one of my first memories. Because you have to imagine 4-year-old, learning how to turn on my dad's record player is one of the first things I remember being able to do. And records in the 80s, I feel fortunate to still been alive at a time. I mean, they're coming back now, but when records were still fairly prominent. Records were great because they were these big, they're these big things, and the artwork really meant something. It was important. It visually stood out. So imagine like 4-year-old, 5-year-old me, and I see the cover to, Funkadelic's Maggot Brain, which is, a woman who's buried up to her neck in dirt and screaming with a massive fro. It's powerful imagery. And I would play that, and the sonics coming out of it had an impact on me. I know it had an impact because I remember it, and I still love Funkadelic. So, Baby Shark, Andre says Baby Shark. Yeah, I mean, like, I want to be clear about something. I'm not mad at anybody making money in the music industry. It is hard. Like there's a person who wrote Baby Shark who I hope right now got to buy a house and a car and save up some money. Like, I don't know who wrote that, but they figured out some kind of way to get people to listen to a thing they did, and it popped. I hope they secured the copyright, and that's great. Okay, that's okay. I'm not mad at pop music. I'm not mad at Justin Bieber for being successful. I'm not mad at any of that stuff, right? What I do have issue with is lazy cultural education, right? And I consider music and arts cultural education. So, it's if you hired a music teacher to come in and all they do is play Baby Shark and just have the kids run around in circles, that to me is very much faking the funk on what an educator can do with a group of children who are so curious, So that's my 2 cents on it. Ayana, I don't know if you, Andrea, I don't know if you have anything to add. Again, this is to me, I'm very passionate about music. I'm very passionate about art because it's connected me to so many people. I've met, wait, what did you say about Baby Shark? Hold on. Baby Shark is a good gross motor song, but it's annoying now. You've heard it so many times. Right. It's what, I don't think we say earworm in America, but you know what I mean when you say earworm. It's just one of those things. And like, I am so like, yo, can I be real with y'all? My kids have never heard it. I don't know how we managed, but my kids have never heard that song. I'm so lucky. I feel incredibly fortunate. But it's when I look at what's happening in 2020, when I look at if like you don't want to hear it, fine. I'm still going to talk about it. When I see what happened to George Floyd, when I see what happened to Maud, and it's 2020, like it's 2020, and I'm seeing these things happen. My power to rein in the police is very limited as an individual. It's very, very limited. I just keep going. I just keep going to, what possibly could make things better. Because adults are hard, man. Like grown-ups are hard. We're stubborn. Like we are stubborn people. We have been, when you're a grown-up, you have been living how you have been living for a long time. You have habits. You're set in your ways. And that's tough. Like, and not only is it tough because you would think now that we have these and we have videos of all the crazy things that are happening, it would be like, oh damn, well that it's on camera, we can fix that now, right? Same way, like I feel like it should be the way that athletes look at tape after a game. The tape doesn't lie, like when you look at a play and you missed a block, or you zigged when you should have zagged, like it's there. I'm not saying there's not context, but when the thing happens, it's there and it's undeniable. It's undisputable. It's not being doctored by AI when you got a crowd of people doing these things. So, you have adults who are being presented with stuff that does not align with their worldview, but to change their worldview is so shaking. It's so terrifying for people to change their view on what their party might be, what their country might be, what their faith might be, maybe their individual lifestyle might be. That's so difficult because it has consequences that touches every part of their life. Kids aren't quite as stubborn, man. They're not. So my thing is, what are experiences that are rooted in love and connection? That's what I go to. That's where I'm at with it. I don't know if you can call it activism, but that's kind of where it's at for me in my brain, or what I want it to be. Again, who fights during a good dinner when the food is immaculate? Who does that? Right? And if there is a person in your family or in your friends group who does that, like, oh, should we invite Uncle or Auntie so-and-so? Remember last year? I don't know. Maybe we need to cut that out this year. Right? Like, but that's the thing. Auntie or uncle or grandma or grandpa or pain in the ass brother, whoever it might be, excuse my language, when the food's that good, they're going to figure out how to act for an hour or two, right? Like they don't want to miss that. Same thing at concerts. If you think about concerts and festivals and art galleries and all of these shared experiences when there are big groups, right? You've got a lot of different people with different habits, different beliefs and stuff like that. But for the most part, we get to enjoy these experiences because, like, we don't want the show to stop. We don't want the music to stop. We don't want we don't want it to end. So, excuse me if I'm going on, I'm going off on one today. It's just, it's really weighing heavy on me. I've been living in Germany for 15 years and I still look back home and I love my home. Like I love my home and I got a lot of friends back there who I love very much. And even people who I'm not friends with, who are my acquaintances or I haven't met. And I'm worried and I think about it. And this is where I'm at right now. And maybe that'll hopefully it'll evolve to something that's even more impactful. So I hope that gives you some context about today. I hope you guys are having a good week so far. Please listen to Stevie Wonder on Sesame Street. Please do it. you will not regret that 3.5 to 5 minutes of your lifetime. And it is a classic example that you can present a child something that is really, really just immaculately composed and they can enjoy it. So that's me. Peace. I'll play you guys out. Goodbye, goodbye. See you next time. Goodbye, goodbye. I'll see you next time. Goodbye, goodbye. I'll see you next time. Goodbye, goodbye. We'll see you next time. Peace. Thank you, Andrea. Oh, Ayana. Get them kids. Go get them. All right, Andrea. Thank you for always being online and helping support us. It means so much.